the final race of what has been a packed weekend of racing here at Snetterton, and what a way to round things out. The second race of the day for the JCW class of the ever entertaining and competitive Mini Challenge. This is the top level of Mini Challenge racing, and this is a reverse grid race. And Graham Goodwin, who is joining myself, Andy McEwen, here for this race, I'm sure he's looking forward to this one equally as much as I am. Here's the grid. First of all, Callum Newsham and Keenan Dole get the front row to themselves. Jack Davidson and Callum King make up the second row of what is a packed 29-car grid. Lee Patterson and Lewis Brown are on the third row together, ahead of Ben Palmer and Dan Zelos. And then rounding out the top 10 will be Nathan Harrison and James Gordon, the top two from race one. Have a lot of overtaking to do in this one if they want to repeat those performances. Outside the top 10 then, on the sixth row of the grid, is James Lukes with Harry Gooding for company in 12th position on the grid. And next in line behind them, we will have Sam Weller and Rory Cuff, who are on the 7th row of the grid together. Row 8 for Matthew Wilson and Ryan Dignan. Row 9 for James Griffith and James McIntyre, with Jacob Andrews and Lewis Gaylor rounding out the top 20. The rain is sort of coming down. It's been on and off all afternoon, really. Never enough to make the circuit fully wet, or even remotely wet, really. Just a bit damp and greasy at times. Issues there. Is that Callum Newsham? I fear it might be. Yes, it is. Callum Newsham. Well, that's the pole sitter pulling off halfway around the green flag lap. Graham Goodwin, that's not what we wanted to see, and I've no idea why that's happened either.
Me neither. Now, and he's pulled well off, so he's got a problem. It's not that he's gone off, he's got a problem, and I think that car is going to require recovery.
And that may require a delayed start. We'll wait and see. They've got a bit of time before the cars get back around. They're only about halfway around the green flag lap, and we've seen already in a few races today, haven't we, cars stopping on the green flag lap and then sort of Control-Alt-deleting it all and firing back up, and off they go, at least into a place of safety. But yeah, there's no doubt if the car is still there when the race starts, or the race is due to start, then they will have to delay that start slightly. That's a shame though for Callum Newsham, who had been drawn on pole position. It was a top 10 grid reversal, which I think is the biggest number that could have been drawn for the reversed grid. Graham, we know what happens when you give a bunch of tip-top touring car stars a reversed grid race at the end of the day. There tend to be fireworks.
It tends to be entertaining. I think entertaining is the polite word we should be using here, but as the Orange Army, or at least two gallant members of it, moved to get that car to a place of safety, in which case we can get the race underway. Terrible shame for the pole sitter, but I think we're going to see some action here. They've had at least one opportunity to see where there is grip on what must be a pretty green circuit now, but let's wait and see whether or not we get the same kind of how can we put this, slippy slidey action as we've seen in a couple of the races this part of the afternoon.
Yeah, these cars, short wheelbase, front wheel drive, very stiffly spun rear suspension on these cars as well, so getting the rear tyres up to temperature is difficult but essential to have any sort of grip through the corners. Keenan Dole then inherits pole position, essentially. He still has to line up in second place on the grid, but he will be the first car on the grid. They're doing their best to get Callum Newsham's car out of the way before the race starts. They might just do it, you know.
Yeah, I think they are going to do it. It's going to be close, but yeah, I think we're going to just about get there. Race control, of course, will be able to see that on circuit CCTV, so they'll know when that car is in a place of safety.
It's not quite behind the barrier yet, but it is at least further away from the edge of the circuit than it was. Are they going to push him now, are they? Try and get it fired back up again. There's the marshal with the green flag, but he won't wave it until he's told that he can. And I'm not entirely sure whether or not that message is going to come through now. We've also only got about 25 minutes left before we have to switch off engines for the noise curfew here at 6:30 at Snetterton, so they really could do with getting this. Oh, they are going to. Green flag is waved, so we're about to go racing then for the final time today here at Snetterton in the JCW class of the Mini Challenge, with Keenan Dole alone on the front row of the grid now. Jack Davidson and Callum King right with him though. Who will win the fourth round of the 2019 championship? Let's find out. Away we go. Great start made by Dole from pole position. Jack Davidson is a bit slow away from second position though. A few of the cars cars further back jockeying for position already as they race down towards Riches for the first time of asking, with Dole the race leader. Into second place looks to have come Callum King. I think Jack Davidson's lost a bit of ground. The yellow car on the outside there is Lewis Brown. He's one to watch here. Potential race winner, I think, having finished 5th in the previous race. And there, the second of the yellow cars, the yellow car with the white flashes, is James Gornall. There's a car off further back, and that's an odd place for that car to end up. That was someone just outside the top 10, possibly Harry Gooding, but we'll double check that for you in a moment or two. And there, Jack Davidson again, sideways. That was a really good start, save there. A heart-stopping moment, though, for Jack. The last thing you want to do is spin in front of that baying pack of minis behind you.
Absolutely right. I think it may have been the 39 car that had a bit of a moment early on there. We'll keep an eye on that one. James Gornall looking to see what he can do by getting through the pack. He's gone by the other yellow car, so he's making good progress now.
Yeah, that's Lewis Brown then in the 39 car that he's just overtaken. So Brown is still there, but has lost a bit of ground, and he's going to lose another one now, potentially. That's Nathan Harrison up the inside. Now, Harrison, crucially, has dropped behind Gornall. They were first and second, remember, in the previous race. Gornall won, Harrison was second, therefore Harrison started ahead of him on the grid, but they've already swapped over again in the first couple of corners. So, really good start this from James Gornall, but that is his thing. He is renowned for being really good on cold tyres, and he's into 6th position already by my reckoning as they drop down into the braking zone. 7th position, excuse me, just behind Dan Zelos. So he's gained 3 spots, and Dan Zelos, the green car with the blue headlights, is next on his hit list. Nathan Harrison doing his best to stay with him, though. He's in the tow. He'll be trying to use that when they get onto the pit straight to mount a challenge.
Another big slide, this time from the 45 car. So 45 and 21, I thought both finding where the grip isn't.
Oh, and a spin for Josh Stanton in the 99 machine. Looks fairly harmless. There might have been a bit of front-end damage, but nothing too concerning. Jack Davidson is stacking everybody up behind him, and there's cars running left, right, and centre. That looks, though, as the number 7 car, was it maybe, that had just... no, number 2, Ben Palmer, they're round wide, and Ben, who finished 4th in the previous race, is going to drop outside the top 10, potentially, as a result of that. So
Harrison and Gornall were side to side. That's been sorted. Now it's Zelos under pressure from Gornall.
Yeah, and Harrison there as well, and Nathan Harrison looking to get to the inside of James Gornall there in the background. That could be significant, but Gornall slams the door in his face, and Lewis Brown sends it down the outside. He's going to get 1, he's going to get 2 maybe, because he leans on James Gornall, and Lewis Brown gets 2 for 1, and they were the 2 most important people for him to overtake as well, really. Gornall and Harrison were the pace setters in the previous race. Harrison back ahead of Gornall too.
Absolutely, that move at the hairpin cost James Gornall dear. Brilliant stuff there from the man in the 39 car ahead, but loss of momentum on the exit gave the 27 car the opportunity to make the move too. What could James Gornall do? Trouble for 83, is that?
Could it be 83? Let's have a look. No, I don't think we have an 83, so again, we'll try and pick up on that in a moment or two. Nathan Harrison then is under pressure now from James Gornall, who in turn is under pressure from Ben Palmer. And Gornall, this was not in the script for the race 1 winner, because he's going to lose another place here to Palmer, I think, in towards the right-hander at Williams. Yes, he does. So Ben Palmer, car number 2, gets through. And Jiggy, the 2008 British GT champion, loses another place.
Steve King at 85, my bad, as the youth of today are prone to saying.
Well, 85, 83, that's similar enough. With my eyesight, I'd have probably made the same mistake. So sideways there into the left-hander goes the second place man, Callum King. But despite these sideways antics, he's catching the race leader, I think.
Absolutely, it's tight stuff here. Dole from King, Davidson, Patterson, Zelos, Gornall, Harrison last time around as they crossed the line.
Corum. There's Lewis Brown then. So he was losing ground on the opening lap, and ever since then has been a man possessed. He's charging now after Dan Zelos. In front of both of them, it's side by side between the grey car of Lee Patterson and the white, blue, pink, black and a bit of yellow number 21 car of Jack Davidson, who has also been yo-yoing a bit in this race as far as the gap to the leading 2 is concerned. Crosses to the line in 3rd then, with Patterson behind him. A flurry of green and purple on the timing screen, but it is Lewis Brown, perhaps unsurprisingly, in 6th position, who takes the fastest lap. And now Lee Patterson challenges for 3rd place. He's on the inside of Jack Davidson and into the Wilson hairpin, and this could open the floodgates, I fear, for the cars behind.
Absolutely. Dan Zelos looks up the inside as well, can't quite make it there.
Wheel to wheel again, though. And, yeah, there's just about a gap back in line. The car's in a Beautiful four-wheel drift there through Palmer's, that left-hander down the hill towards Agostini, and Jack Davidson defending now from Dan Zelos. Lewis Brown and James Gordon are side by side behind them in the battle of the yellow cars, and Nathan Harrison sort of in the middle. They were 3 wide, I think, there as they came into the corner. How did that one settle out? It's Brown ahead of Harrison, ahead of Gordon. In fact, Brown is up the inside
Zelos.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. He's made that move.
Brilliant stuff.
Way wide. James Gornall hard on the brakes behind, and he's under pressure now from the number 2 car.
Yeah, Ben Palmer.
Ben Palmer looking for a way by James Gornall.
So these drivers that started towards the back end of the top 10 as a result of that grid reversal haven't actually made the storming progress I thought they would. It goes to show the strength in depth, I guess, in this championship. 1-1-2 has been off, though, I'm afraid. That's Neil Trotter from 18th position. James Gordon is that, yeah, up the inside of Nathan Harrison again. So these two have swapped positions a few times already in this race.
Mounted a stirring raid there. That worked. So what next for James Gornall?
Well, next on his hit list is going to be Lewis Brown. No, Dan Zelos in front, because of course Brown's gone past Zelos. So they are inching their way up the order, but not the electrifying gains of position that I thought we might see from this lot. But look, they're so close together. The top 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cars are within touching distance of each other. Look at this, it's like a rolling restart after a safety car, isn't it? But it is full racing conditions here at the end of the 3rd lap of racing at Snetterton. 13.5 minutes still to go. Keenan Dole has a 3/10 of a second lead over Lee Patterson, who sets the fastest lap. Oh, sideways there for Callum King in second place. Can he hold on to it? Yes, he can, but he loses all of his momentum, and Patterson will go through. So Patterson into second. Davidson's going to go through into 3rd potentially as well here. Callum King tries to outbrake him. They almost both outbrake each other actually, but Davidson will go through.
Gornall through on Zelos as well, further back in that pack.
And Harrison too, he's going to follow him past because Zelos ended up on the grass. Ben Palmer trying to go around the outside as well. This is all action stuff, and if you make a mistake or if you lose a position, you're liable to lose more than one position, aren't you? Because there are so many cars practically on top of each other.
Well, the top 9, 2.4 seconds separated them across the line. The top 4 cars under a second.
Yeah, this is remarkably close racing, even by the mini challenges, impeccably high standards. Down to Hamilton's we go again then. So Callum King from 2nd down to 4th position, and that frees up the cars in front then, doesn't it? Lee Patterson in 2nd place, but not for much longer, but Jack Davidson goes on the inside of him and takes that 2nd place away. Runs a bit wide on the exit of the corner though, so Patterson dives back up the inside in towards Williams' corner. Sideways again there for Callum King as Lewis Brown goes past him, and James Gordon almost into the back of him. James has to slam on the anchors. Nathan Harrison tried to take advantage but didn't have any real estate to use. That was a dicey moment there for the championship leader James Gordon, who could well do without cars throwing themselves sideways in front of him.
And that was that loss of momentum has meant he's lost a position again to Hubbard. Goes through.
Yeah.
And 2 positions.
Yeah, Palmer's gone through as well, so Nathan Harrison and Ben Palmer both go past James Gordon, and Gordon still hasn't got this move made on Callum King. Now he goes past the 45 car. Dan Zelos trying to follow them through as well, but James Gordon, this is the thing with reverse grid races, isn't it though? James cantered off into the distance and won the first race by nearly 9 seconds, but when you lose that track position and you're back in the scrum in the midfield, not only is it harder to make progress, but it's so easy to get involved in someone else's accidents.
Yeah, Dan Zelos makes up one of these lost positions there too. All of a sudden we're beginning to see gaps open up at the front, but behind there's yet another gaggle of cars.
Yeah, this lead gaggle is still fairly intense, isn't it? Nathan Harrison, though, the man who's impressing me most here, really. He's come from 9th on the grid. He's been up and down a little bit, but he's now into 5th position and is closing in by half a second or so on Lewis Brown in front. Change for the race lead, but only briefly because Jack Davidson went up the inside there of the race leader. Keenan Dole outbraked himself and might actually lose 2nd place there. There was contact between him and Lee Patterson. Patterson, the grey car on the outside line, can't go through. That move is tempting to make, isn't it, into the head? But if you outbrake yourself, you're going straight on.
This could go anywhere, couldn't it? This is...
My thoughts exactly. This is going to be a very, very entertaining final 10.5 minutes of racing of the day, I think. And any one of these drivers could lay claim to a good chance of taking the victory. Here's the replay. Well, the gap was there, but I think Keenan Dole knew that Davidson wasn't going to slow down and said, go on then, through you go.
There you go.
That works for me. So, Keenan Dolben still the race leader. Oh, Lewis Brown there trying to peek up the inside of Lee Patterson, who a corner or two ago was almost into second place and now is in severe danger of losing third position. The next queue of cars are getting closer as well. That's James Lukes there, the blue and black number 35 car. Harry Gooding behind him, the blue and red. So it wasn't Harry that I saw going off on the opening lap, clearly, because he's still running strongly there in 12th place.
You're absolutely right. That pack behind is catching this pack and is catching it.
That's Dole. Keenan Dole's off the race leader. He's clattered into the tyre stack as well. And Jack Davidson, I think, has taken to the grass in avoidance, but has rejoined with the race lead. Well, that was a mistake for Keenan Dole that has cost him dear. There's damage to the car as well, and it frees up Jack Davidson now as your new race leader.
Pretty significant damage to the front left of that car.
I can see a couple of umbrellas coming up. I reckon it's raining again, you know. And I think that might explain what happened there. Yeah, look at them twitching around. Patterson sliding off the road now. No, it's definitely raining. They've got less and less grip. And here comes that man again. Nathan Harrison is into second place. And James Gordon is going for third around the outside of Lewis Brown. Yes, he's got it. James Gordon and Nathan Harrison, the drivers with arguably the most experience in this grid. It's no coincidence, surely, that they are the ones that, when it starts raining, pick their way through the carnage into second and third.
Yep, second up from 7th to 4th, third on that single lap, 6th to 2nd for Harrison.
Well, if the rain keeps on coming and going like this, then you may as well just throw the established order up into the air and
clattered it.
How unfortunately, he was only a little bit sideways, wasn't he, at first, and then tagged the barrier, and that did the job properly. Ben Palmer then gave him a shoulder barge as he was trying to rejoin, but that was really unfortunate, actually. He did a good job to save that from being a bigger accident than it was.
Keenan Dole came through in 10th position, by the way, after that, swallowed up now by the pack that was chasing this little lot.
Well, this is great stuff, but shame that Keenan Dole has lost that race lead. Keenan, though, we know has good car control skills. In fact, he had a video that went viral on the internet a year or so ago of a great save he had in a VW Racing Cup car. Meanwhile, though, the battling in the mini challenge is continuing on as Lee Patterson tried to get up the inside of Lewis Brown, couldn't do it, and then Dan Zelos and Ben Palmer tried to take advantage. But then you've also got Rory Cuff, James Luke, Harry Gooding, the recovering Keenan Dole there, you can see, is also still a part of that pack. Ryan Dignan, Tom Rawlings. There are so many cars all in that long queue, and the positions are shuffling almost more quickly than we can keep up with them.
1.5 seconds was the gap when they crossed the line last time between the top 4 cars, in fact.
Oh, Zelos off. Dan Zelos has just tripped up and run wide at the S's.
He ran on there from 7th position.
I think he rejoined it about 7th, actually, just in front of Ben Palmer. So he's lost 1 or 2 positions. But in fact, no, he was behind Palmer, wasn't he? So I think he's redressed that and come back on where he was. Lee Patterson off now, then.
Yep.
And
way off.
Yeah, that was interesting. So out of the final corner they come. Now, there are still 4 minutes left on the clock, but we are hearing that they are considering throwing the checkered flag a little bit early. It does not come out this time, though, so no, they're going to let them carry on racing, which is good news. So Jack Davidson with this healthy advantage now, 2.9 seconds over Nathan Harrison second, James Gordon third, Lewis Brown fourth, Ben Palmer fifth, Dan Zelos sixth, Rory Cuff was 7th, but now Harry Gooding has just gone through. That's the move you saw being made in front of you. So Harry Gooding goes into 7th place and Keenan Dole follows him through into 8th.
I think they've cut some of the time out of this race for the curfew, is what they've done. So I think we've lost 3 or 4 minutes of potential racing, but you know what? 1 or 3 or 4 minutes that could end up being. 3.5 minutes to go. Grass track, rally cross.
Well, I think it's anything goes at this stage, really, isn't it? Because the conditions are so tricky as well. You can't even really have a go at them for exceeding track limits.
Well, the top lap time has gone up rather by about 8 seconds a lap. That's how slippy it is out there. It's James Gornall defending. But at the moment, Davidson getting away in the lead.
Yeah, the others don't really have anything for him at the moment, do they? But it's one of those races that I think particularly the likes of Harrison and Gordon are just going to be happy to survive.
It's survival. It's absolutely survival, knowing you're in there as the 3 wide down touch.
Was Gordon and Brown. And in the end, no places changed hands.
It was Brown and Palmer actually a touch there. Yeah. Gordon, I think, managed to escape there. There's a change of position there between Brown and Palmer. Here comes Dan Zelos looking to do what he did in race 1 and make hay with a move on 2 cars for a significant position. Looking good on doing it as well. He's managed that around the outside.
Let's have a look. He's going to go right round the outside of both of them. James Gordon is sideways there as he gets it all together. Zelos gets one of them then, so he gets past Lewis Brown, who's trying to fight back though towards the bomb hole. Lewis Brown was at the head of this queue a lap or so ago. He's not quite at the back of it now because he does go back past Dan Zelos. Runs wide though, and so mirror signal manoeuvre. Dan is back up the inside again into Coram corner. And will he go back through? Yes, he will. So the position changed, what, 3 times there in about 2.5 corners. Here's the replay, and oh, yes, it was. It was Brown and Palmer. You're quite right. Gordon was nipping through on the inside or defending on the inside line. Oh, and then a double spin further back. One of those cars, I fear, might be the 45 car again, possibly, but I didn't quite catch who the other one was. Checkered flag is out. Checkered flag has now come out then. And Jack Davidson takes the victory in round number 4 of the mini challenge for 2019. Nathan Harrison is second. James Gordon is third. Then Palmer fourth. And Dan Zelos in fifth with Lewis Brown, Harry Gooding, James Lukes, Tom Rawling and Ryan Dignan. But the checkered flag has flown with about 1 minute and 20 seconds or so left on the clock. That's because of the noise curfew, as we were saying before the end of the day, and that is 46 this time that's gone off, and that will be one of the drivers further back, Stuart Gibbs, who had a grassy moment in race 1, I seem to remember. So the race coming to a slightly premature conclusion, but what a race it was, and Jack Davidson takes the victory, and that means that he's the 3rd different winner this season. Jack's previous results earlier on in the season at Alton Park, he was in the mix all day really, but didn't necessarily get the results that he was hoping for, and so he will be very, very happy indeed, will Jack Davidson, to have got the race victory here. Yeah, Jack had a 22nd place finish and a non-finish at Alton Park in the 2nd race. Earlier on this morning though, of course, he had things a little bit better. He's had really good speed this weekend at Snetterton, has Jack. Take full advantage of the reversed grid situation, and from 8th in race 1, that gave him 3rd on the grid for this one, which was actually 2nd with the demise, of course, of the man who was due to start on pole, Callum Newsham. Jack Davidson then with the victory. Neil Harrison. Nathan Harrison is 2nd with James Gordon in 3rd. Ben Palmer and Dan Zelos rounding out the top 5. Lewis Brown, Harry Gooding, James Lukes, Tom Rawlings, Ryan Dignan and Richard Newman are next up, with Keenan Dole recovering to 12th, but I would imagine the steering of that car was a little bit bent after whacking that tyre stack down at the complex. With Rory Cook, Lewis Gayler and Lee Patterson after his last lap excursion at Coram, finishing down in 15th place in the end. It was a lively old race though, but for James Gordon and Nathan Harrison, job done really. They came from the 5th row of the grid, they're both on the podium, more good points scored. Absolutely,
top 14 within 10 seconds. Wow. Amazingly tight gaps. James Gordon less than a tenth of a second off, grabbing 2nd place on the line with that slightly early checkered flag for the noise curfew. Excellent racing, race of survival at the end rather than pace, but boy, we saw an awful lot of that.
We really did. Lots of overtaking, little bits of contact, but really, given how sketchy the conditions were, I don't think we can really begrudge them a bit of trading paint. Jack Davidson then with the victory in the end, and if he can keep that sort of pace up, he may well become a championship threat before the year is out. He was a front runner in that reversed grid race at Alton Park before he not finished, unfortunately, with an off, but Davidson, one of those young drivers that I think, given another half a season or so to really sort of fine-tune his craft, he's got the raw speed, just maybe making a few mistakes. Well, if I were a younger becoming racing driver, I'd rather be quick but accident-prone than just plain slow, and certainly there's no doubting Jack's speed. Just needs to and it'll come with experience, it'll come with age, but some more consistent results like this will do wonders for his confidence as well, I'm sure. For now though, from Graham Goodwin and myself, Andy McEwen, that is everything from here at Snetterton. It's been a very, very entertaining day. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next time.